Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. I got cut off on our last video as I had a work phone call, but I'm back at the hotel with the old laptop out on this beautiful screen. And you can see, if we just take a brief synopsis where we're at right now, you can see if you watch the prior videos, we had double top one springtime of 2021, almost a year ago, and it peaked out. Of course, that's in the way. It peaked out on April 11th, 12th, 13th, 17th, right in there, and then it flushed. And then we started a spring through midsummer crash, and then a pump. And you can see we formed a rising wedge this time. This was a rising wedge where you have a bigger base at the beginning, right? And then you have uptrending support, and you have uptrending resistance, upper resistance, 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 high, higher high, higher high, low, lower low, lower low, and then a flush, right? That's what that is. That's a technical trade right there. And Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected, and overted and subverted the 15 or 20 subscribers we had back in here that are still subscribing. Put a comment in the comment section on this video to my longtime subscribers that remember and validate Vincenzo when I was telling you we were in a right, we had this pattern up and told you it was going to break and come way down, right? And then we diagnosed the bottom and we thought it would pump up to about here, but it actually came way up here, right? So we knew it was going to pump. We gave you that down here. And when you're part of Jabroni Killers, that's going to be coming on live for one easy, cheap, affordable monthly payment for all. Not only do you, for Jabroni Killers, not only does it support the channel so we continue to grow and spread our message of a probability-based technical trading that Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing does better than none by far on YouTube, as we are 69.69 steps ahead of the competition, and we fleece, heist, and shiest the charlatans and the snake oil salesmen and the YouTube hustlers and the whales that manipulate the market, right? And we walk away with all the fucking money as we subvert and overt, the subverters and overters, and audible into the perfect play when we read what the technical chart is telling us and we play the probabilities, right? And you can see where we're at now, and that not only are you going to get that, you're going to get technical analysis classes, how to set up a technical trading chart like Vincenzo, from beginner to advanced topics, and it'll be archived and categorized and archived and categorized, so you can go on and check it out whenever you want and continue to follow along with the updating content that'll come up weekly and monthly. We will have every Monday for Jabroni Killer members exclusively on my YouTube partnership program. You'll get monetary and fiscal and monetary policy Fridays, and you'll get commodity Mondays, right? That's going to be archived and categorized on there in the commodity Monday section, starting from episode 1 all the way up, right? And each week we'll put a new video on there, a nice 15-minute video that is going to be exclusively to members of Jabroni Killers. Friday will be fiscal and monetary policy, where we go over the CPI, the housing market, right? The producer price index, the inflation number, the interest rate, what's long-term treasuries doing, what's the Fed talking about for that week, right? All of that and much, much more there. It's going to be the most powerful area on YouTube by far, with a growing network and a communication and an educational and knowledge-filled area that you can get to help you stay ahead of the competition and ahead of the market, so you don't fall and get beat down like the average retail trader. That's why you're going to be members of Jabroni Killer, to learn how to identify, sniff out, and detect what the market's going to do by using the probabilities to put the casino and the odds in your favor and take it away from the criminal gangster cartel and put it into your right pocket and walk away with all the fucking money, right? But you can see what's going on here as we're coming back up into here, right? And we have our $45,000 upper target from down here. Vincenzo, remember when it was up here and people thought it was going to moon, Vincenzo said, nope, it's got to come all the way down. I didn't have the blue arrow in at the time, but I had the price at the bottom of this white support box. I was telling you it has to come all the way down here to 32,826, and that would be your first spot to buy a nice bounce. But I thought it would get topped out right on this orange ring or slightly higher. Right now we're slightly higher, so if we get rejected by this 200-day moving average, start trading back down, back test this underneath support, the orange ring, and this blue uptrending ring right here, and back test it and fail and fall down, that this prediction would be right because it would end up similar to this, right? And either reject it at the orange ring or slightly above. And if it doesn't get any higher and trades back down, this would qualify as that. But if we get into the moving average up here at 46 and break it, and even if it ends up back down, I was partially right because I diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected it in here and knew it was going to have a huge flush. And then I sniffed it out correctly, knowing it was going to counter trade back up, but I thought it would get rejected here. But still, if you're on my member Jabroni Killer, you would have known to be out of the market here and had your buys on Bitcoin stacked down here at 32,000 and then rode to 32,000-ish, wherever you staggered your buys, 32, 33, 34, and then ride it all the way back up to the 40, 41, 42-ish range, right, and sell. Or in this case, if you didn't sell, you stayed in, but you would have had a phenomenal trade if you were trading with Vincenzo, because this is where the probabilities were the highest to have the best chance of success on a trade, right from down here. Not back here. A lot of jabronis and charlatans got people fleece heisted and shisted here and here, because Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing told you this rising wedge, or this rising channel back here. This is a rising wedge because it's wider at the beginning and it's really narrow like a duck's beak at the end. That's why it's a rising wedge. It's an up facing and it's channeling up, so it's a rising wedge. If it was this but facing down, it's a falling wedge, right? It's a bullish continuation pattern, but it's a reversal continuation pattern because you trade up for a long time, but then the price eventually comes down, right? Same thing with this. This is a rising channel. It's the same as a rising wedge. It's a bullish continuation pattern that eventually break down and reverse temporarily, right? But this is the same. See how wide it is here? It's generally just about as wide at the end as the beginning. That's why it's a channel. It looks like a channel, right? But it's got the same technical target, a rising wedge, like right here. The technical target is the bottom of the wedge. The technical target out of a rising channel is the same thing, the bottom of the channel, which is all the way down here at the blue arrow. And that's another reason why Vincenzo knew there would be some kind of a bounce here, because you're fulfilling a targeted move. And now the computer algorithm and traders that are technically trading know to buy here because you fulfilled the targeted move on the pattern breakdown. Just like right here, you broke down on your flush from the rising wedge and then immediately bought back up and almost double topped because you fulfilled the targeted move. The computer algorithm right here signaled buy and you bought up, and then the retail investor pumped it up even more. And then the institutional investors that bought right here sold on this long sideways consolidation, where all the retail traders were loading up on after the retail traders sold to the institutional investors down here. The institutional investors resold the same shares back to the retail trader that got hammered here to here, and then they got slaughtered all the way down here. And then in this consolidation, these retail investors started trading back to the institutional investors that sold here and bought here, and now they're buying again back here from the retail trader that got slaughtered again, just like they got slaughtered there. And then they rode it all the way back up, and then the institutional investors sell it to the retail trader here, and then it flushes. And then on this consolidation on support, the institutional investors load up again and ride the pump until right here they start selling. And as soon as the institutional investors are done selling, it flushes again. Retail trader gets hammered. Retail trader gets hammered. Retail trader gets hammered. Retail trader gets hammered. If you're with Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, we let you trade with the probabilities, and you're not going to catch all of this, but you're going to catch some of this, right? If you got caught in a bad trade in here, Vincenzo can get you out and then buy you back in somewhere in here, and then we'll know to sell because our indicators that Vincenzo uses tells you to sell in here, not worry about the extra pump at the very ends or the exact bottom when your indicators are telling you to start getting into there, and we keep you out ahead of it, and we maximize gains and minimize losses. When you're a member of Jabroni Killer, you will have the power to unlock your full trading capabilities when you can start to look at a chart and understand what you're actually looking at, and you can start to get the feel and how to massage and predict the market using the probabilities, right? So that's what's going on here. This has been good on the Bitcoin. And if we zoom in now, and if you're a member of Jabroni Killer, you don't have to hear all my nonsense and my ramblings, right? It's just straight into what we're talking about when you're a member of Jabroni Killer, and it's very exciting, and it's almost here. It's only a matter of days, maybe even hours. So you can see in the immediate Short term, what we got going on here is we zoom out just a little bit. We need to be zoomed out farther than that, to be honest. We need to go to the hour time frame. You can see what's going on here. What you got going on here is you got a whole bunch of chart that's a mess. But you got your underneath support at 41,000, a descending orange ring at about 41,369, coincides with the 200-day moving average in green. You got your first upper resistance at this target that we hit of 45,000, and your next major upper resistance, what I was trying to show you guys when I was in the car, is back here. This is slow here, but you can see the reason why we thought 45,000 would be major resistance is look at all this trading that happened back here within this range from 49,000 all the way down to 43,000. A lot of trading. So when you're coming from underneath it, this is going to act as major sell pressure. But the reason we got a $53,000 target is this looks like a left shoulder ahead and a right shoulder developing, and the top of the left shoulder was all the way up here, and that runs right into $52,963, and that is why we have that as an upper target on a possible pump that we put out several days ago. When it became apparent that this pump was going to overachieve, we started digging down a little bit deeper into the chart, and we seen this up here, right? Everybody can see that, and this would be a technical area to trade back up after a huge flush in Bitcoin, where with our industry exclusive measuring tool, Bitcoin flushed, and we kept you out ahead of this. 51% on a buyback now after a targeted move hit. This would be a technical target to back test this now and trade all the way back up into here, right? And you trade up and down all the way up into here, and then you start to trade back down, and then now you can see how that right shoulder would form, and then you can continue down, right? And that's what I think you got going on here at Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. That's why after we pumped here, came down to here and held, Vincenzo started emphasizing about 3 days ago this upper target here, because we see what's possible from this right shoulder, and that would be a technical target of back testing it all the way up, get rejected, and then you have your neckline down here, and then you do a targeted move from there, and that gets you all the way down into our next targets, where we have that huge arrow pointed at, because you know Vincenzo loves his arrows on here, and this is my channel, and we're going to have arrows pointed, and this is our target. We think by midsummer to late summer, maybe early fall, somewhere the 4th of July to the fall equinox, $18,950 is absolutely in play. And then when you go over to the Dogecoin, Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, and Vincenzo has diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected again, and keeping you 69.69 steps ahead of the competition, as along with his ring system, and by being able to sniff out patterns, by being a technical trader, we have given you constant analysis and helped you. We don't want to be in the monthly. Helped you again in the comment section. Anybody that remembers the Doge and the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos, way back here with our industry exclusive perching tool. Remember, look at me, Vincenzo, back here with the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos. Vincenzo, everybody, I don't care what channel you look at, said it was pumping to $1 or close to $1, if not mooning, from the Elon Musk, and Vincenzo kept telling you it was coming down, right? And it has. It's down with our industry exclusive measuring tool. It's down from the top, and all my subscribers, the few of you that were here that remember that, comment down below and let the new people know I'm not making this up. You can go check the videos from back then and see it went down 81%. So Vincenzo helped you sidestep 81%, and also using ring to ring, you can see we're in this falling channel, right? And we know falling channels are bearish continuation patterns, but eventually they like to reverse and make a targeted move, which would be way up there. But that is not in the forecast. But you can see if you've just been selling resistance, buying support, selling resistance, buying support, selling resistance, buying support, right? Nothing to play in here. Could bought support there and then rebought support there and play the pump. You buy support and sell resistance. So right now, what we got going on here is we got supported the last time, right? Now what we can do, and they like to do on these rings, they start trading up and then trade along this ring and come up here and meet this upper target, right? So you could be playing a swing trade here. You buy support and then you sell resistance, right? and your first major resistance is the 200-day moving average up there. So I think Doge has a potential to trade up into here over the next few days to weeks, all the way up here at 20 cents. It's not that far of a, it's not that high up, but in a current trade from current price, it's a 27.69% move, and that's a fairly significant move for anybody and a fantastic trade. But you would have to sell up here at this upper resistance, because I think what would be more than likely to happen is, you can see there's major overhead resistance at this volume indicator, is I think you would get sold off if you came up into here and hit this in the next few days to weeks. And then I think you would start, as soon as you cross the blue ring, you would start to trade back down and eventually retest down here again, right? So that's what's going on in the Doge coin. The XRP, we know this is, you've been in a 10.5 month falling wedge, right? Which is a neutral continuation pattern. It's wider, or symmetrical triangle. It's wider, it trades straight out, and it's got descending lower support, right? Or descending upper resistance, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then it's got ascending underneath support, lower low, lower low, lower low, flush, right? But Vincenzo's kept you out ahead of this too and told you this was flushing in a neutral continuation pattern. But again, just like Bitcoin, when the price was here, we told you when it breaks down, it's going to come down and double bottom this target. And then often, but not always, they like to back test as upper resistance to then, if you get rejected, it confirms the breakdown. But I pointed out that a 1.69% chance out of 10, but this one was slightly higher than that, because look at all this area we have left in the pattern to fill. So I told you, if it got up here where I thought it was going to come, and I gave you a great swing trade from down here, from back when the price was up in here, if you watched the video, up in here, I said, watch, it's going to flush, double bottom, and at least come up and back test this, right? And then it did that. But then I told you, if it takes the world less travel and gets up in here, it's likely going to come to the 200-day, get rejected, and then you got to back test this, and then you can trade back up and hit this line one more time. And then if it makes it to this point, they like to usually overachieve and have a fake out to the upside, and that's how I think you can get to this green ring in the medium range term, and then get harshly rejected, and then you have a full lateral flush back down into this underneath support area, right? It's a big move that can happen, but this is the kind of in-depth patterns that I can get you on board with and get you out ahead of a potential break before it happens, and how to stay 3 steps ahead of the competition and the market manipulators, and how to understand how to play this here when everyone knows it's going to be bearish, but nobody knows where to buy in. We set you up with trades when you're members of Jabroni Killers to at least have an easier, stress-free, probability-based, where we had at least a 7.69% out of 10 that this was going to hold this lower support and pump up into here, right? And that would be an easy trade that, as members of Jabroni Killers, you'd be trading with Vincenzo and reaping an easy reward of 17%, and then you could have played it by ear and been up a potential 47% if you only sold some of it here and then rolled the rest out by watching the market once it got up into here, because it pretty much just blew by it. But that's the kind of power you can trade with Vincenzo. Like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. Peace and love. Peace and love.